On this episode of Arts Weekly, I'm speaking with Debra Lynn and Scott Humphries from Manchester College.
We have non-majors who are in choir or in orchestra or both. Or we have some that have even been in the 3 major ensembles at the same time.
And Samantha Burke from Project Mobile EDU at IPFW.
Students and most all of us these days have a smartphone. It's like having a little computer in your pocket where you can not only make phone calls, but you can see your calendar, you can get on the internet and look up something.
This is Arts Weekly.
Arts Weekly is a production of the College of Visual and Performing Arts at IPFW, offering degrees in fine arts, music, theater, and visual communication and design. IPFW, the energy of arts.
This is Chuck O'Connor, and you're watching Arts Weekly. Joining me is Debra Lynn and Scott Humphries from the Manchester College Department of Music. Thank you both for coming on Arts Weekly.
Thanks for having us.
Manchester College, North Manchester, Indiana. Tell us a little bit about the college. We're here to talk about the music department in a little bit, but give us a background on Manchester College, Debra.
It is a small liberal arts college that is affiliated with the Church of the Brethren, and it's been around just a little over 100 years, and it's a very small, intimate kind of a setting. We have students that work a lot with faculty closely. Our class sizes are very small, and so that's sort of one of our big talking points, is that we can offer that kind of thing to our students.
Well, what kind of programs does Manchester College specialize in, Scott?
We have several strong programs. Of course, our science program right now is very large. We have a focus right now. We're opening up a pharmacy school here in Fort Wayne, so the push is on science. I have a lot of biochem majors in my ensembles, for instance. We also have a peace studies program that we're known for. We're one of the first colleges possibly in the world. We know the United States, we're the first college to offer a peace studies major.
What is that?
I'll let you do that one.
It's a degree program that concentrates on peace and justice issues. So they study a lot about the history of international relations, that sort of thing. A lot of our students that graduate from that program go into political science fields or ambassadorships. So they're students who sort of have a wider view of the world than just rural Indiana. So they're very interested in trying to make significant changes and pushing toward good collaboration and working with international kinds of interests.
Okay. Does that fit into part of the religious affiliation that the college has with the Church of Brethren?
Absolutely. The Church of the Brethren is a peace denomination. A lot of the background has well-known pacifists in our history. So that's an important puzzle piece in the whole peace studies part of it. But I think their focus is a little broader ranging than just the religious affiliation.
Okay. All right. Well, we will talk a little bit about the music program. Scott, you're the head of the instrumental studies part, and Debra, you run choral there. How many majors do you have, and do all the students who partake in the music program at Manchester being a rather smallish college, are all of those musicians music majors, or are they from the other parts of the college? But tell us a little bit about the music department and the kind of students that you teach out there.
We have about 30 music majors and minors right now. We are growing quickly. And about to outgrow some of our facilities, which is a good problem to have. But our ensembles are very dependent upon non-majors because we only have 30 majors. So obviously, if we only had majors in the ensembles, we wouldn't have ensembles.
Right.
And there are wonderful musicians from all the disciplines on campus. So we really enjoy including them in a lot of our programs. And they can take classes in the music department too if they're not majors. So.
Well, that's kind of unique. Let's say, Scott, if you're a science major, since Manchester is big in the science, you can still pursue your passion for music, correct?
Oh, yes. We have plenty of non-majors that take lessons. They're either in lessons, they're in ensembles. They can be in multiple ensembles. We have non-majors who are in choir or in orchestra or both. Or we have some that have even been in the 3 major ensembles at the same time. We have a student now, as a matter of fact, who's in choir, band, and orchestra. So, and our students typically really like to participate in that. I've just found that's one of the great things about Manchester is if you have a musical background, we encourage that regardless of discipline, we encourage you to participate.
Do you find that there's a connection between science and music, or at least students who are majoring in the sciences and music?
There's a draw there.
Well, yeah,
There's
I mean,
a draw.
just acoustically, music is a really interesting field to study. If you're into physics, there's so many interesting things to look at musically. But math and science and music have always gone hand in hand. A lot of great scientists. Einstein was a musician. So there's
something about
there's a long history there of that connection. I had a student a few years ago who was who took a conducting class just because she was interested in conducting, and she ended up conducting at the Vatican during our Italy tour, and she was not a major. So I love that aspect as well about what we do.
One of the great things about the flexibility of the program also allows, whether you're a science major or a math major, to also be able to even minor in music, just because of the flexibility of the way our program's set up. So we do have quite a few minors who are, cross-disciplinary, and it's a wonderful thing to see.
Yes. Well, let's talk about some of the things that you have coming up. Starting in 2012, you have Music Weekend, where you sort of open the campus to different. You tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Debra started this Music at Manchester. I don't know how many years ago you started that. But
5, I think, 4 or 5.
Yeah. And this is where we have 2 weekends, set aside 2 weekends, and we invite, I think we sent out an email with 50,000 invitees to this, and they can come, they check out our campus. It's a 2-day event. They can spend the night in the dorms with the students, see what it's really like, eat the food, see what classes are like, follow students around in class on Friday, participate in the ensemble, see what our ensembles are like.
Wow.
And then they can audition on Saturday for some of our available scholarships.
And that's going to be on February 10th and 11th and March 2nd and 3rd, I noticed.
Yes.
Then you have Daniel Belcher coming in to do a performance. Tell us, and that's going to be on February 3rd as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
He'll actually be here, his recital is February 3rd, but he'll be here for a week before that as an artist in residence with us, working with a lot of our singers. Daniel is an opera singer who just won a Grammy Award 2 years ago for a recording, an opera recording, and so we're really excited to have him coming, and he'll be doing some master classes and doing some stage movement workshops and interesting things like that with our students.
Out there at Manchester. On February 17th, the faculty and some of their friends are going to be performing there at Manchester College. Tell us about that.
Well, we have the unique situation of all of our full-time faculty members are also composers. And so several of us will have compositions on that recital. But we'll just be performing. It's important for us to let our students see us do what we expect them to do. So we thought we would just feature ourselves. And let them
and just say, do it this way.
Right.
Okay.
Right, do it this way. And the great thing about that too is we can all do quite a few things on that. And like Debra plays piano very well. She's a great singer. She's also a great composer. I'm going to be doing some piano solo work and some saxophone solo work. So all my compositions are for larger ensembles, and that venue isn't quite big enough for that. But we all have 2 or 3 different things that we can show our kids. This is what we do. This is our passion. This is what we're doing.
Well, jumping now to April, you're going to be performing at the Honeywell Center down in Wabash. And you had the concert with the Manchester Symphony Orchestra, correct?
Yes.
Oh, and who are you going to have performing then, and what are you going to be doing?
Well, the title of the concert's Pure Americana. It features all American composers. Our marquee piece is Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue, and pianist Jung Jung is coming, and she's going to be our Gershwin expert for that.
She's a fantastic pianist.
Yes, she is.
Yes, she is. We're very lucky to have her. We have her as an adjunct at Manchester, and I know she does some work here at IPFW as well. And we're just so lucky that she wanted to do this. She wanted to do this with the orchestra, and I was like, let's jump on it, let's do it. We also have actually a native-born Indianan piece called Wisdom Fanfare. Her name's Sherry Woods, and native-born Indiana. So trying to keep it as local as possible, I guess.
And how far away is Wabash from Manchester? I mean, that's quite a nice facility.
About 25 minutes.
Yeah.
About 25 minutes. And yeah, it's a gorgeous facility. Our partnership with the Honeywell Foundation, the Honeywell Center, has just really grown over the past 4 or 5 years. And we're fortunate to get down there to that venue to play.
And for those of our audience members who are real music lovers, how long does it take to get out to Manchester to see some of your concerts?
From here, probably,
55 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, worth the drive.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, and well, we're out of time for this episode. Debra and Scott, I want to thank you both for coming on the show, and hope to see you out there at Manchester College at some music events soon.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
For more information about the music department at Manchester College, visit them at music.manchester.edu or call them at 982-5426. Arts Weekly will return in a moment.